I think that prolonging this war is the only thing that is keeping Netanyahu's tenure as a head of government viable and alive. Without this war, Netanyahu would be out of the job within a few weeks, and his governing coalition would collapse. He is hanging by a thread. However, he is still standing on solid grounds as things stands by the way he is administering his machinations and his schemes in order to do just that. He's very well and very well professed in playing these games in order to stay alive. There is a genuine will in Israel to prolong this war. Many Israelis do, especially within the establishment, within the political establishment, and within his governing coalition, want this war to go on until the complete annihilation of, or what they think could be the complete annihilation of Hamas, and of course, the displacement of the Palestinians, the annihilation of the Palestinian cause, because they enjoy American support and they see this as a historic opportunity. Netanyahu is taking advantage of that and catering to the far right and the extremist elements within his society and government in order to ensure his political survival. However, when he ever attempts to placate the Israeli left or the Israeli opposition or the families of the detainees or his European allies and others, the price is usually his governing coalition being pushed to the verge of collapse. We saw that when he accepted the second ceasefire in January, being fair to resign from the government, if you remember.
Yes.
And he begged Smotrich to stay because had Smotrich resigned as well, it would have been over for Netanyahu.
Yes, because back then, Smotrich and Ben-Gvir were threatening to resign from the cabinet.
And they are still making these threats right now. And this is one of the main obstacles before.
And they clearly said that reaching a ceasefire would actually enable Hamas to get more powerful.
Exactly, to regroup and take control back of the Gaza Strip. Or this is how they see it. So unfortunately, this is the situation we are in right now. Netanyahu's political survival depends on the continuation of this war, unfortunately. And that's why he is trying to prolong the war as much as possible until he can accomplish his war aims, no matter what the price that may be paid, including the lives of more Israeli soldiers. Their casualties are mounting in the Gaza Strip, and also including potentially the death of some or all of the remaining detainees.
Yes.
It seems that this is increasingly acceptable to Netanyahu and the majority of his governing coalition. So, and that's why, to be very honest, I know I'm going to jump to another subject, but this needs to be said. Hamas needs to reconsider the strategy. The card of the detainees is not as strong and effective as it used to be. The Americans are on their side, so they need to reconsider their negotiating position. They need to realign themselves with their with the will of the international community, with the Arab will, with the Palestinian Authority, which is the sole legitimate representative of the Palestinian people in this calculus, because this could actually disarm Netanyahu's reason.
And I would like to go back to this point, but I want to understand it more from you, Dr. Osman. But for now, back again to you, Mr. Ibrahim. Now, how long can Israel's generals execute a war that they no longer believe has any coherent objective?
I think that the Israeli government's goals towards Gaza is actually not coherent, and also the goals in executing this, they are kind of political. So if we look at what Benjamin Netanyahu wants to do, he wants to end Hamas and get the prisoners back, but he wasn't able to end Hamas completely up till now, and he also hasn't gotten his prisoners back, and so he connected or had the two things related. And on the way, we saw that Trump wants to make Gaza their own, and we saw that the Israeli side doesn't want to end this war. even with the with the American pressure from Trump on the Israeli government. And we also saw the displacement operations, either forcefully or peacefully, and the cleansing in Gaza. And we also saw a real change in the Palestinian occupied land. And so what's happening is that there wasn't a clear vision from the Israeli side of what's going to happen in Gaza. Even in the next day, they don't know what. I think that what Israel is going to do, I think that the extremism is a real crisis for the whole world, not just on Palestine, not just on Israel. It will be a crisis for the whole world, because all the religious governments, they also do things that they will not be able to keep up, and their vision is just to destruct. It's a strategic destruction plan. And so we saw what happened in Gaza, the mass starvation, the ethnic cleansing. We saw all this happening in Gaza, and it's happening all over. And the world is now very mad with what's happening with Israel's strategy. And also we saw that Netanyahu did a humanitarian operation to get aid into Gaza, and this aid is not enough. Before what happened in Al-Aqsa, we're talking about around 6,000 convoys entering, and what happened after what happened in Al-Aqsa, we're talking about 1,000, but today around 125 convoys only enter Gaza. And so Netanyahu talks and says that he gives them a little aid to have Hamas give in and give them their prisoners back. But the US and Israel, they don't understand this. Even the US is leading and controlling the whole war. And so and yes, they're as entangled. The US is entangled in this also, and they're engaged, because we saw how much control they have over Israel when they stopped the Irani war. And so Israel must know that there will be other resistance groups, even if Hamas is over, unless we find the perfect solution, to get aid into Gaza, the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip that Cairo put in a proposal